Hello everyone and welcome to yet another educational video about, well, this one could apply to more things than just the screen printing industry. Okay, so thanks for clicking on my video. I appreciate your time and attention. My name is Jonathan. I'm your screen printing tutorial video host, if you want to call me that or what have you. I've been called worse. So today I wanted to kind of expand on a video we did previously. I did a video about some words of encouragement. Okay, so I just want to give my top business tips as well to add to that a little bit. Okay, so these business tips could apply to any business that you're trying to start up. It doesn't necessarily have to be screen printing. It could be any type of business, really. So today, what I'm going to share with you are my top business tips that I have learned over the years. And also, I'll give credit where credit is due. I got some inspiration from Timothy Nessinger on Facebook. He left some comments on the, hopefully I pronounced that right, but he left some comments on the encouragement video, right? And I thought I would expand on some of the things he mentioned, a couple of them, and share with you my business experiences and what tips that I have learned over the years that have helped me stay afloat and keep going, as a small business. All right, so, but before we go on, remember, of course, if you like the videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's very important. Going on 10 years in 2019 right here on YouTube, and I could not have done it without all your support. You guys out there subscribing to my YouTube channel, interacting with me, leaving comments, and making these videos popular. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your support a lot. So for those of you who have not subscribed yet, please do so right now. It makes kittens happy. All right. Also, don't forget that if you need screen printing equipment or supplies, check out my offerings at catspit.screenprintsupply.com. Okay, so obviously the first thing that I'm going to reiterate a little bit from the encouragement video is determination and perseverance. You really have to not give up, okay? There will be many successful people, millionaires or billionaires, who will tell you that they have failed more than once on their way to success. Okay, so when you have a failure, you have to step back, take a look at that, reassess things, and try to figure out what you did wrong and what you need to do right. Okay, so determination and perseverance, and hard work. Again, I'm here on Saturday. It's Saturday. It's supposed to be my day off, so to speak. I often come in on Saturdays and work and take care of things that I was unable to get done during the week. So Saturdays are a great time for me to shoot video because it's very quiet. I don't have to answer the phone and I don't have to tend to the storefront. So here I am on a Saturday shooting this video for you. All right, so that's, again, reiterating, you will have to work as long as you have to work to get the job done, and that's that. But don't give up, be determined, and keep at it. So the next thing I'm going to mention is your overhead. Overhead means how much it costs you to run the business from month to month. And it's very important that you keep your overhead low. You don't want to extend yourself by creating monthly overhead that you have to pay, with the money that you're earning from your business. So low overhead is critical to sustaining longevity. All right, so be careful in the space that you rent. If you're renting commercial space, be careful that the rent is not going to be something that taxes you out every month and makes you, dig into your savings or something like that. Okay, so low overhead is key to a successful business. Okay, so an extension of keeping low overhead is also, don't lease or finance equipment unless you know that you have the business, the volume of work that you're going to be able to make those payments every month, because that also contributes to overhead. So financing equipment or leasing equipment can be very dangerous unless you're sure that you have the work volume that's going to allow you to pay for those payments, okay? It's, it can be a big burden. So that's a secondary thing of low overhead, is make sure that whenever possible, buy the equipment outright, because it's much cheaper anyway. Financing and leasing will add a great cost to your equipment purchases. So whenever possible, go ahead and buy them outright and just pay for them, because the savings that you're going to get from that is pretty huge, and then you don't have that burden of the monthly payments. All right, my next tip, some of you will say is harder to do than it is to say. Easier said than done, right? But what you want to try to do is keep enough savings in the bank to float the business for up to a year if possible. Okay, I know that can be huge, but it's really critical. So when you start your business and you're making some money, and maybe you get a few jobs that are really kind of, you make a big chunk of change, reinvesting the money in the business is good to a certain extent, but always keep enough savings to kind of get through hard times, or you know what I'm saying. It's just a very good idea to have enough money saved that you can float the business when you may not have enough customers, or maybe you're still, growing. It takes time, like we were talking about in the encouragement video. It can take some time to get your business rolling and to gain enough steam. So sometimes, it's critical that you have money to keep the business going and keep pushing, or, not give up, okay? So keep savings to keep the business flowing as much as possible for as long as possible, whenever you can. It's a very good idea to try to do that. All right, so here's another one that could be easier said than done, and some people may not have this option, but if you have family that can help, especially in the beginning stages, utilize your family as much as possible, because they will oftentimes help for free, or they will help for exchange of help or favors, or you know what I'm talking about. Family can be very powerful in helping you gain some ground when you're first starting out. So if you have that opportunity to involve your family in the startup of your business, and again, keeping overhead low by not having to hire people and pay people a bunch of money to do things that are, maybe they're, menial type tasks, or really tedious, boring type stuff that you just don't want to have to pay the more expensive minimum wage that we have now. Family can be a powerful asset to helping start your business. So, if possible, utilize your family as much as you can. All right, so the next tip I'm going to give you is value your services, meaning don't offer cutthroat prices, the cheapest prices, thinking that, I have the lowest prices in town, so everybody is going to come to me because I'm less expensive than everyone else. There's a couple of problems with that, or could be a couple of problems with that. And first of all is that you may be devaluing your product, okay? There was a news segment that I saw a few weeks back about Payless shoes. And Payless shoes went into a really fancy, ritzy mall, and they set up a shoe store with a different name, some kind of weird European name or something, and they put their shoes in there that, you can buy for like 20 bucks. And they put them in there for, $300, $400. And the people were coming in and actually being like blown away, like, oh yeah, these are high quality shoes. These are really worth the money. This is really good stuff. Okay, so what I'm saying is don't devalue your product by offering it too low of a price, because it hurts the industry as well. Cutthroat pricing will create price wars, and in the end, nobody makes money if you're printing for pennies on the dollar, unless you're talking about, high volume contract printing, which is pennies, per print. When you're talking about a couple 100,000 pieces, that's different. But, just be careful, because, the cutthroat pricing can hurt you, it can hurt the industry, and it can be, you end up doing a bunch of work and then you didn't really make enough money for what you sold. And like I said, it can also hurt your image, or it can decrease the value of your product. Like your product is not as good as this guy who's charging 10 bucks a shirt and you're charging 5 bucks a shirt. So I'm going to go to the guy who's charging more because his work is probably much higher quality. Do you follow what I'm saying? So just be competitive, definitely be competitive, but don't undercut yourself or undercut your colleagues in the industry, because like I said, in the end, it could end up making you all make less money for the same work. Now, obviously, in this current day and age, the whole pay less news story could have been a well-planned and paid-for marketing campaign. We really don't know if that was an experiment that was really done, under any kind of scientific boundaries, so to speak. So we don't know, if the Payless thing was actually a marketing ploy. But the point still remains that your presentation of your product and your price can affect the customer's impression of your brand. Okay, so that's definitely a fact. That's like a proven fact in marketing. The presentation and your price can affect the person's impression of your brand. All right, so just be aware of that when you're lowballing and trying to be the cheapest guy in town. Sometimes not the best thing to do. Please don't forget that if you need screen printing equipment or supplies, to check out my offerings at Catspit screenprintsupply.com. If you have any questions, shoot me an email through the contact us form or pick up the phone. The next tip that I'll give you is to find your niche, or do what you do best. Okay, it's not always the best idea to be the guy who has everything under the sun, unless you can do it all very well. Okay, so that means the products that you're going to offer, make sure you're an expert at producing them. Don't try to have a giant menu of products to offer. Some of the best restaurants in the world have a menu with 5 or 10 items on them. And some restaurants have menus that have 150 items on them. And there's, if you watch a little of Gordon Ramsay and stuff like that, you'll realize that the larger menus can often be confusing, and it makes the customer take more time to order, actually. So a smaller menu is more focused. You're able to produce those items at a much higher quality, right, and a faster rate, and that kind of thing. So it's a similar thing. Find your niche, find the products that you enjoy making the most, and it's okay to expand your product line, but just try not to be offering things that you really don't know anything about, or you don't know how to make, or or maybe you make them and they're not as good as the other products that you make. You follow what I'm saying? So find your niche, find the products that you enjoy to make the most and that you make the best quality products with, and stick with those until such time that you find it necessary to add to your product line, and then become an expert at what you're going to add to your product line. Always be an expert at the products you offer. Another thing I'll mention is that working with your customers is like building a relationship. The best customers are often the ones that you build some kind of repertoire with, if that's how you pronounce the word. You have to build a relationship with them. You want to be honest, you want to be transparent, you want to be flexible, but also know when to say no. And, we could talk a little bit about rush orders here. So, it's okay to offer rush orders, and sometimes it can be really helpful to a customer to push something through for them. But know when to say no. If you're not going to be able to deliver a rush order, or you're not going to be able to do a great job at a certain product, like we're talking about niche products, right? Do what you do best. Know when to say no, and be honest. Be honest. And tell the customer that, that's not something I feel comfortable with. I'm not sure I can do that for you. I would rather do this, or I can do this. Okay? And, that way, your customer is going to see that you're being honest, you're being transparent, and you're being as flexible as you possibly can, while being sure that you're not going to let them down. Okay? So that's all part of building a relationship with a customer is, don't lie to them. Don't tell them that you're going to do something you can't. Don't tell them you'll have the job by Thursday and then keep pushing them off. Do what you can do and only what you can do, and don't promise anything you can't. all right? And that way the customer will feel like they have a relationship with you, that you're honest and such. As just, that's all I can say about it. Be transparent, be honest, be, upfront, and know when to say no. Never allow your mood to affect how you do business with other people, okay? Never let a bad mood affect how you interact with your customers, okay? People can pick up on bad vibes. They can tell when you're depressed or unhappy. They can kind of hear in your voice when you are tired of talking to them, or maybe you don't want to talk to them, okay? So, be happy, be energetic, be passionate about what you do, and enjoy what you do, as well as, show love to your customer. In other words, your customer is a human. He's not just a number. He's not just a dollar sign. Your customer is a person, somebody who's spending their hard-earned money with you, okay? So show love and kindness and, empathy for the customer, and never let a bad mood affect how you interact with your customers. Give love, and love will come back to you. All right, so I also might mention that it's important not to ruin your reputation before you get started. So that could be twofold, meaning your customer service personality. Don't be a jerk. You don't want to be known as the jerk screen printer, even though you do good work. That guy's a jerk, So you want to be careful of that kind of thing, and also be sure of your product before you send it out to your customers. The last thing you want to do is have a customer bring back shirts that the ink is washing out or something like that. Or even worse, the customer gets the shirts, the ink washes out, and they don't come back. They just, give you bad word of mouth. So if you're lucky, the customer will come back and complain about whatever was wrong, so you have an opportunity to fix it. But there could be cases where people may not come back, and they'll just talk bad or poorly about your business or your product. So be careful not to ruin your reputation before you get started. Be good in customer service and blah, blah, blah. Be a nice guy. Don't be a jerk. And of course, make sure your product is 100% before you send it out to the customer. All right, so one last tip that I can give you, which is also kind of about your character. All right, so, being confident and being assuring to your customer and being the expert is very important. You're the expert, you're the professional. It's your job to steer the customer into a product that is not only good for them, but profitable for you to print and not a problem. Okay? Again, knowing when to say no comes into that as well. But your character is very important. You want to exude confidence, if that's the word, and sometimes, you have to act like you have a characteristic in order to gain the characteristic, if that makes sense. So the step to gaining a characteristic like confidence or, expertise is sometimes just acting as though you have that, and it will come to you as you pursue it, okay? Now, obviously, that doesn't work with every type of personal character trait, but it can work with business persona or your business character, meaning, a lot of people are acting, okay? Many people in sales have no idea what they're selling. That's the honest truth. Okay, that's why I always say when you buy equipment from Catspit Productions, that's the big difference, because I was actually a screen printer for the majority of my life. I actually know what I'm talking about. I'm more of an artist. I'm not a salesman. And that's probably, again, why I'm here on Saturday making this video. I might be more successful if I were just some kind of super salesman. But many salesmen don't really know a whole lot about what they're selling, okay? But they act like they do. All right, so I'm not telling you to do that, because like I said before, you want to be honest and transparent and be a good person. But what I'm saying is that if you feel that, you know, you have a hard time talking to people and you don't have that confidence, just pretend you do. Pretend you have that confidence. Pretend that even though, you know, maybe you are an expert about the products you're selling and how to make them and how to print them and stuff, but you don't know how to, you know, present that to your fellow person. Just act as though you do. Pretend that you do. Try to learn to live it. And these things will become more natural to you over time. Okay, I don't know if that made sense, but, you know, it's something my father says to me still to this day. Thank the Lord that he's still alive. He's such an awesome guy. But, you know, that's something that I got from him. And, you know, like I said, while it doesn't work with all character traits, like for instance, if you're depressed, acting like you're happy doesn't necessarily make you happy, but maybe in business it's a good thing because, like I said before, you don't want your mood or anything like that to affect how you interact with people. So you know, yeah, maybe you're not having a great week, but if you act like you are, then people are going to respond to that much better than if you're acting like you're not having a good week. Does that make any sense? I think that's all I have for you today. I just really wanted to expand on the encouragement video, you know, and give you a little bit more advice, a little bit more encouragement, a little bit more power, a little bit more information to help with your endeavors in whatever business you may be starting up. Because like I said, this video, probably the tips could apply to any industry, not just screen printing. So I just wanted to give you a little something for going into 2019 to help you guys, you know, keep at it, keep going, don't give up your dream, and just do the best you can, work hard at it, work very hard at it, all right? And again, thank you so much for your support here on YouTube. I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for you guys who watch my videos and subscribe. That's really important, subscribing to the YouTube channel. I can't express that enough. It's so necessary to keep the videos popular and keep them going on YouTube. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you for subscribing. I love you guys more than I can express through video. And I just want to say thanks for your support here. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel right now if you haven't already. And of course, please check out Catspit screenprintsupply.com if you need screen printing equipment or supplies. Because remember, I'm an artist and I'm a screen printer. I'm not a salesman. So I'm never going to sell you something that you don't want or you don't need. And I don't push sales, and I never leave anybody stuck with something they don't want, ever. All right, so check out Catspit screenprintsupply.com, and of course, check out all my videos. Go to the channel page, and you can do searches by topics. It's much easier to go through my over 500 screen printing videos on the channel page with the videos tab where there's a search function. So check them all out. Make sure you subscribe, and that's it for today. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate your time and attention very much, and of course, we will see you next time.